What's up, guys? Welcome to the Crypto Savvy channel. I'm Craig, and we're going to be going over the charts. We're going to take a look at the Dow, the DXY, then Bitcoin. We're going to go from the 4-hour up to the monthly. You're definitely going to want to see this weekly chart and watch this RSI that I'm going to be showing you in this chart. So definitely stick around for the whole video. Make sure you smash those thumbs up. Leave your comments down below. Let me know what you think of the video. Also, share it, get it out there, and make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Make sure your notification bells are ticked to get notified when I post new videos. As of lately, my video times are kind of all over. As you guys know, I'm building a home, so sometimes I have to be there early in the morning, so I don't get the morning videos in. Yesterday, I didn't get one at all, so I apologize for that. Let's get into it. Looking at the Dow Jones, as you guys know, we've been watching this blue line right here, which is very significant in the price. As you guys know, I'm very bullish, or not bullish. I'm very bearish on traditional markets. I still remain that way, especially if we're below this 33,490 area, which we are now. Maybe getting a little bounce here, but I put the fibs. Let me show you what I'm looking at here. So if I put the Fibonacci extensions on here and I go from this swing high up here to the swing low, back to this swing high, let's put those on there. The 1618 will get us down to this 30,090. So as long as we don't come up, break, make a new high, which is possible. This could be a wave 1, 2, 3, this all being a 4, and then we still have wave 5 up. Unlikely in my opinion, but if it is, we may get one more high, and that would lead to Bitcoin's one more high. But let's take a look at where we're at. I do think the RSI is going to continue to the downside here. I think we're going to come back down for another touchdown here. Now in the longer term, over the next year or so, we may come all the way back down to this 22.1 area. If that breaks, it's Great Depression time, in my opinion. All right, looking at the DXY. So as of right now, we are getting supported on the 0.5 fib. We've been talking about that. We did wick below it, but as long as we're closing our weeklies above that, and I know everybody's super bearish on the dollar, right? But if you look here, this is just a real healthy pullback for a real big move to the upside. As you guys know, my next target is 122. None of this has changed in over a year. And then 178 to 180 after that. I do believe we're going to see something like this, guys. As you guys know, I've been watching this falling wedge here. But that's my targets for that. Now let's look at Bitcoin. So on Bitcoin, you guys watched my video day before yesterday. I don't even know what today is, Thursday. So Tuesday's video, I talked about this. I told you to watch this 4-hour trend line break. If it broke, it was more downside. Well, it broke. We got more downside. Now, in the bullish case here, the RSI would come up in the 4-hour to retest this and then get a rejection. And if that was the case, then obviously I think the Dow would be pumping. That would, because Bitcoin relies solely on traditional markets, no matter what anybody says. So if that was to happen, we may see a new high here. But even if we did that, that would be a lower high in the RSI, hidden bearish divergence, which in the big trend, the trend is down. Now, I know people were saying we made a new high. We made a new high. Well, we didn't make a new higher high right here, right? I know a lot of people like to think that, but I'm going to show you in the weekly chart while that's not the case, right? I know the bulls want to believe that and feel that, but there's nothing bullish here, guys. Here we have hidden bearish divergence in a downtrend, right? We have from this high here, a lower high in the price action on the close. Remember, RSI follows the body of the candle, not the wick. We had a slightly lower low or lower high here, right? Higher high here, hidden bearish divergence, continuation of the trend. Now, our resistance right now is our 200 EMA at 20,985. If we do break up and get one more tag to the upside, 22.9 is what I'm looking at. Now, to get bullish here, I would have to see a break of 22.9. If that's the case, you guys know I went off of these two lows here, and to the upside would be all the way up to around 31.5. It is a possibility. I don't see it happening unless we can get above this, let's just say 23,000 and hold. Not just a wick above a trap. I want to see a open and close of a daily above here, at least open and close of the same candle. To the downside, let's take a look at that. I showed you guys also Tuesday. If we look at this as a rising wedge, and we take our measured move over here and bring it up to where we broke out, that says we topped out there. Again, could we go up to that 23,000? It is possible, something to watch for. Otherwise, I think we turn around from here. Even if we do see that 29, you're going to want to watch the daily RSI. It'll probably make a lower high on the RSI, making a higher high in the price action, if that even happens, right? But like I said, this is pretty clean cut sign that this move is over on that measured move. Now, where do we retrace to? This 18.7, probably look for a bounce in this area. If you're a day trader, that may be a place to look for a long. As you guys know, I am in shorts right now. But a break of this, maybe come back to retest. Then your next level to watch is going to be this trend line down here. Depending on how long it gets there, obviously, it's not going to be exact. Draw these in on your charts if you want to follow along. But around 17,000. Once this breaks, guys, I believe we come down to this bottom trend line. And if that breaks, that gets us down to that 75 to 8,500. Actually, this measured move would be all the way down to about 5,500. I know a lot of people think that's impossible. Now, if you remember, like back here when this drop happened, everybody was 10,000, 13,000, blah, blah, blah. Everyone's super excited, thinking it was going down. You get this little pump, then everyone gets bullish again, and then same thing, guys. But in all reality, nothing has changed in these charts, and I'm going to show you that in the weekly, right? But as you guys know, my targets are much lower. I do think the bottom will be sometime in the middle or end of this year. So September, October-ish, I think Bitcoin bottoms, and it could be as low as 35 to 4,500. Now let's take a look at the weekly chart here. As you guys know, we hit all these targets pretty damn dead on. Up here, we called this drop right here just by a measured move, just like I showed you in that last one. Boom, we nailed this one at that 25.6 range. Whoops. And then the next one, we used that same measured move, which became a bull flag pull to or bear flag pull to this bear flag. And before that broke, we called the 17.5. Boom, nailed it. And this one here gets us down all the way to that 75 to 8,500, right? But our first target was this rising broadening wedge. We had to look for that target, and we actually hit it. I thought it would go a little bit lower. I had it at 14.9. We didn't quite hit there, but then I had drawn this in that we would get this little rally. Went a little higher than I expected, but nevertheless, it shows our low should be in sometime of February or March for our false bottom. If we haven't already made our false bottom, as you guys know, I was looking for the weekly trend line break, right? But let's take a look at the weekly here. This is what I've wanted to point out, and then we'll go into the Amazon compared to Bitcoin charts and kind of look at where we're at with that stuff. But if you look here, this is the 50. It's a little over 50. I got it set at 50.5 right here on the RSI. But let's take a look at each time this crosses to the downside on this, right? What happens? Look at this one over here. You can see it was a huge drop. That was from 11.3 all the way down to 6,800, right? So well, let's look at it in percentages. I know I said not to look at it in percentages for the little bumps because it'll make it look big, but this is pretty significant. So that was about 45% from where it went, right? So the next time we broke to the downside from this, see, we can wick above it, and get these little run-ups above it, but nevertheless, when it breaks back down through that, what is this one? This one was 42%, right? After we broke there. And then once we got below there, this time we, stayed below and had one more big capitulation, which I still think we're going to see. All right, let's take a look at this one right here when it broke through that trend line. That was right here. That was a 26% drop. Let's look at it on this one when it broke through this trend line, right? Right here. That was a 38% drop. Let's Over to the next one right here. See how far that one fell. These are all, what I'm showing you is all 60% drop right there, right? And then once it broke above, that created this huge bull run. And then once we broke it, which was right here, if we put this line on, that was this candle here. Let's take a measured move of that. And we could go all the way to where it bounced off. That was 38% drop. Now let's go on to the next one right here, right? Let's put our, let's go to where it fell through right here. Oh, whoops, that wasn't, oh yeah, it is the next one. That was about 45%. And then the next one right here, remember, we can wick above and then come back down. This one was at point right, whoops, where are we at? Point right here. That was 63% drop. Another thing I wanted to point out, see how everybody's saying, well, we made a higher high. Well, back here we made a higher high, right? And it just rolled over to come crashing down, which I think is going to happen here. I just think it's going to be a slow, methodical crash, right? I mean, you'll have some quick parts of it, but nevertheless, bearish here, guys. As you can see, we had higher highs in the price action, right? I'm sorry, from this point, if you look at it right here, right? We had lower highs in the price action, higher highs in the RSI, hidden bearish divergence, come down. Right here, lower highs in the price action, higher highs in the RSI, hidden bearish divergence. Hidden divergence is a continuation of the trend. The trend is down, it's hidden bearish. That is a continuation of the trend. Nevertheless, we are right at that line now. If we get a wick above, like I said, that one more push up, but guys, when it drops back below this line right here, it's going to be quick. It's probably going to be a pretty big candle. So be prepared for that. And the .com bubble on the left, which is Amazon, on the right, which is Bitcoin, still playing out. Everybody is looking at this line like it's supposed to, that's just showing their direction. And it's not an Elliott wave count. This is a bubble pop pattern, right? I put this in just so you guys could see what I was looking at. How it's the same pattern, right? Even the ABC correction with a new high up here, same pattern. You had the big exuberant pump and then come back down. You had it here too, not quite as high. So it doesn't have to play exact. Nevertheless, what's happening if we get these out of the way, right? Still looks the same. The invalidation point of this is a break and a hold above 25.8 is where it's at now, I think. The 55 EMA, that's what you need to watch. If we get above this before we break new all-time highs, or I'm sorry, before we get back down to these lower levels, then the bottom is in my opinion. But I think it's going to be a long time, just like it was over here. And we had talked about this pump here being a false bottom. Could this be the false bottom? Possibly. But that still means we have one more low to go, just like we did back here, right? We broke the weekly RSI trend line, false bottom, got everyone bullish. Everyone's super bullish right now, right? Bam. Everyone's saying the bottom is in. I do not believe the bottom is in unless we break this 55 EMA. Here's the Amazon compared to Bitcoin chart. Overlay it. This is how macro tops form. This is how macro bottoms form, right? And here's our monthly. Taking a look at the monthly, I've drawn this trend line down here. We wicked above it a little bit over here, right? Right here, but we got rejected at the 55 EMA. Right now, our rejection point is at 8 EMA, and that's around 22.3. So, like I said, we could wick above that, but nevertheless, that 8 EMA is pretty strong resistance for Bitcoin right now. Another thing I want to point out, if we close in this range, put this on here, this will be a higher high in the RSI. Of course, it's the, not quite the end of the month yet, so you'll have to see how this closes. But if it closes this way, we have a lower high in the price action, higher high in the RSI, hidden bearish divergence on a monthly downtrend. So looking at this in the monthly, guys, you should be able to tell that it's not as bullish as people want to think. A bottom's going to take a long time. It's not going to, just bounce up and go straight to the moon and you're going to be rich next year. It's not how it happens, guys. I do believe it could be 10 years until Bitcoin hits a new all-time high if my chart plays out as I'm looking at it. Let me see. I had this right here is my 10-year plan if this holds up. Like I said, unless we pass this 55 EMA, everything's still looking the same. And what happens in a macro bottom, you form a macro bottom formation. This one happened to be an inverse head and shoulders right here, right? But this took about almost 2 years, well over a year, right, for a bottom to form. So this is not going to shoot straight up, guys, and go straight to the moon. I hate to burst your bubble, but this is a bubble and it's bursting the wrong way. Anyways, thanks a lot, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you smash a like, share the video. Also, check out these videos above. Prime XBT, my favorite exchange up there. And you can check out the other video where I first started talking about this on December 2nd, 2021. Check them out. Also, if you do decide to trade on Prime XBT, my promo code SAVVY50 will get you a $7,000 bonus. SAVVY25 will get you 25% off your fees. Have a great day, guys. I'm out.